3 signs you are a seer. In the book of 1 Chronicles chapter 29 verse 29, the Bible tells us about Samuel the seer, Nathan the prophet, Gad the seer. And there's a reason why the Bible is putting a thin line between a seer and a prophet. And that's because a prophet is a nabai. A nabai hears to see. But as for the seer, a seer sees to hear. In the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 1, Habakkuk says, I as a watchman will see what the Lord will say. Meaning he was in the seer dimension. He had to see in order to hear. In Jeremiah 1, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah and said to Jeremiah, what do you see? And Jeremiah said, I see an almond tree. And the Lord said, you have seen well, for this is my word. So a seer is somebody who can help but sees. Number 1 sign that you are a seer, and ladies and gentlemen, this is a major sign, is that you are highly visual. What that means is you can't help but see. I'm talking about you seeing events in your dreams, in your visions, through mental pictures, through images or symbols, where before things happen, you see them either in your dream or either in your visions. I'm talking about you thinking about somebody or thinking about a certain place, and the next thing you hear something happened in that place. While you're thinking about somebody, they give you a call, they text you, or you hear something happened to them. You hear either good things about them or bad things about them. But the fact is, you kind of saw it either through a dream, either through a vision, or through a mental picture. So every seer can't help but sees. So if you are somebody who will often have series of dreams and most of the things you see, they come to pass, chances are you are a seer. Number 2, you are always compelled to pray. What that means is you have an unction to pray, because you need to understand that every seer is an intercessor. But of course, not every intercessor is a seer. Remember, God does not show you things to entertain you. God shows you things because you are either part of the problem or part of the solution. And that's because God himself is not a gossiper. So the reason why he's showing you what he's showing you is because of 4 things. Number 1, to warn people. Number 2, to change it. Number 3, to stop it. And if you can't stop it, to minimize it. So every seer has a burden in their spirit, and that burden is to close a gap through prayer or stand in the gap through prayer. Because here's what I want you to always remember: God reveals in order to redeem. So he does not show you things so that you can appear as a superstar or the greatest man or the greatest woman who can see things before they happen. There is a reason why God is showing you what he's showing you, and your part in it will either to stand in prayer, warn people, minimize it through prayer, or you can change it through prayer. And if you have the first sign and you do not have this one, you can always ask the Lord for an unction of prayer. Number 3, recognition. And of course, you know it as deja vu. And when we talk about deja vu, we are talking about an event that is taking place in the present, but you are feeling like you have seen it before. And that's because indeed and in fact, your spirit was able to see that moment before it came to pass. Remember, life is spiritual. So whatever happens in the earthly realm actually happened in the realms of the spirit. So what you see here now, it's actually the spiritual materializing into the natural. So at that moment you'll be wondering, how come I've seen this before? Where did I see this? You are trying to remember, and it's because your spirit was able to download, but not to download the whole information. So in order for you to be always able to download the whole information and then you are able to predict what's going to happen, you need to have a strong spirit. Just like the book of Luke chapter 1 verses 80 says that John the Baptist, the baby John, grew strong in spirit. Once your spirit is strong, you are able to fathom the realms of mysteries. And how do you cause, or rather build up your spirit to be strong? By walking with the Lord, by being close with the Lord, by seeking a deeper, or rather a closer relationship with God. And it is important for me to say this. Any believer can see in the spirit, but that does not make every believer a seer. Just as any believer can prophesy, but not every believer is a prophet. And in the dispensation that we are in, according to Acts chapter 2 verses 17, it's a dispensation of nabbis and seers. So every believer who has this kind of a gift, or the anointing that I'm talking about, which is the seer anointing, and you do not know how to go about it, you do not know how to use it, and you fear this is you I'm talking about, let me know on the comment section, and I will help you by the Spirit of grace.